Shalom, Zion. And I want to say a Shabbat Shalom to you and your families. So I woke up with a great need this morning. Just something the Spirit put on my mind. Woke up, felt a great need to talk about this. You know, Zion, we are living in a time of great deception. And as the Most High is awakening his people, we're also seeing many things creep in within this awakening that is sweeping our people away from the word of the Most High. And this is why I want to talk about this. Now, we're going to call this subject Baal and the Dragon. Now, I didn't prepare for this, because I woke up, the Spirit woke me up, put the subject on my mind. So we're going to see where the Spirit leads us in this. So, brothers and sisters, we must, and I always stress this a lot, we must test the spirits. I cannot stress that enough. We must study the word for ourselves. Do not take man's word for word, not even mine's. You study for yourself and test the spirits, because you have many YouTubers out there who are claiming to be Israelites but are really Jesuits, purposely deceiving you with the word, giving you what they call truth with just a little bit of false error. And that little bit of false error can distort the whole truth. Hamashiach said that many people will arise and claim to have the truth. Many false prophets would arise. And we're seeing a lot of that. I'm telling you, brothers and sisters, this awakening has been infiltrated by Jesuits, by all kind of lies, by false prophets, you name it. And this is why I always quote Revelation 14:12 at the end of each lesson, because it is vital that you really understand that. Because the only ones who are going to make it, brothers and sisters, are those who seek after the righteousness of the Most High and who keep the laws of our Elohim. That's serious. Anything outside of that doesn't matter. I don't care how knowledgeable these YouTubers may seem. I don't care how much scriptures you think they may know. Be aware, Zion. Test the spirits. Because some of those who claim to be Hebrews and say they are giving you new light, don't be fooled. They are not who they say they are, or who you think they may be. And that's all I'm going to say about that. All right, saints. So if you got your Apocryphas, go ahead and turn to the book called Baal and the Dragon. Now, we're going to be in this book for the whole entire lesson. And so if you got it, go ahead and turn, and we're going to start with verse 1. And it says, "And King Astyages was gathered to his father, and Koresh of Persia received his kingdom." So Babylon has been passed, been conquered by the Persians and the Mede. Verse 2, "And Daniel conversed with the king and was honored above all his friends." And the Babylonian captivity for our people lasted about 70 years, give or take, a little bit over 70 years. And Daniel at this time, he was up in age. He probably around this time, maybe in his late 60s, 70s, maybe early 70s. But he was still honored, even among the Persian kingdom and the king himself. Verse 3, "Now the inhabitants of Babel had an idol." Now all these idols that was left over from Babylon, because remember when Persia conquered Babylon, they took all their stuff, their idols and everything, and just kept it to themselves. And it says, I'll read that again. "Now the inhabitants of Babel had an idol called Baal, and there were spent upon him every day 12 great measures of fine flour, and 40 sheep, and 6 vessels of wine." So the people are sitting there bringing all kind of stuff to their pagan gods, to their Baal worship. And we know that Baal is just translated for evil one, Satan, deceiver. And Baal goes all the way back past even Nimrod, all the way to Kemet. This thing goes way back, brothers and sisters. And all these pagan holidays come out of Baal worship. But we're going to talk a little bit more about that as well. Now, why am I talking about this? Baal worship. Because, brothers and sisters, our people have a very serious idol worship problem. And it's still carried over to this very day. Now, even amongst some of our so-called Hebrews, same thing. Now, when you look at some of these camps, and especially the ones who wear those demonic stars, and they call it the Star of David, but it's not. It is the wicked star of Molech. And a lot of these camps, they know that. If you watch IUIC, you will see them, the leaders, especially Nathaniel, throwing up demonic hand signs. And I truly believe, I'm going to tell you something, brothers and sisters, I truly believe that these guys are Jesuits disguised as Hebrews. And that's why I was telling you in the beginning, you got to be very careful who you claim to listen to. It doesn't matter if some of the stuff that they're preaching is truth or saying is truth. And this is how our people are going to be deceived, because a lot of our people look at status. They look at how many camps they got all over the world, and they judge it by that. And they want to say, just because they got camps, the Most High must be blessing them. No, bro, do not be deceived. That is the worst thing that you can ever think. And this is why we're living in a time of great deception. You got to test the spirits. And I'm telling you, and if you're the type of person that loves watching those kind of things, those people, but yet you know that they're preaching error, do you know that that evil spirit can come upon you, brothers and sisters? I'm telling you, it can come upon you. You won't even know it, and you'll see yourself drifting. See, the Most High is going to purposely separate the wheats and the tares. And what he's doing right now, the shaking is happening right now as we speak. The Most High is purposely shaking those of us who are not serious, who don't want to seek out the righteousness of the Most High, and who don't want to keep the laws. He is shaking those individuals out of this faith by bringing more calamities upon them and separating them. Now, don't get it twisted with going through trials. Just because you're going through trials don't mean the Most High is separating you. I want to make that very clear. Okay? But the way the Most High is going to separate some of these so-called Hebrews who claim they have the truth, he's going to lead them further and further into error. And that's how you're going to know. That's why when you see some of these camps doing what they're doing, wearing these demonic pagan Molech stars, throwing up hand signs, those are the ones especially he's going to lead further and further and further away from the truth, because in their minds, they know that they're deceiving, and they're trying to drag you along with them. And that's why you got to be very careful who you let into your heart, because that same evil spirit can carry on from them right into you. This thing is real, brothers and sisters. And you're not going to hear any camps telling you what I'm telling you right now, or any so-called Hebrews who claim to be giving you the truth and leading you in error. You're not going to hear them speak on this either, because they know exactly what they're doing. Now let's go. Let's go with a verse 4. If you're still in your Apocrypha, Baal and the dragon, and then it goes on to say, "And the king worshipped it and went daily to adore it." Now this is the same Baal image they set up, and bringing all this food and whatever you have, all this flour and stuff, thinking that this fake image, this demonic image, is going to consume it. But it goes on to say, "But Daniel worshiped his own Elohim." Y'all hear that, brothers and sisters? Daniel worshiped his own Elohim. Now, some of you may be in situations where you may be living with some in-laws or some family members, some friends, maybe because of financial issues or what have you, or vice versa. You know, and you really have a hard time with these people's demonic holidays. They still putting up Christmas trees. They still celebrating the pagan holidays. What do I do? Because I live with them for the time being. Brothers and sisters, do not give in to those idols. Do not give in to those idols. Now I know it's really hard, especially for you young, for the young lads. And I have a few subscribers who are around 14, between 13 and 15, and I get those questions all the time. What do I do? My mother, I can't help it because she puts that stuff up, and I have no other choice. The Most High, you pray, and that's all I can tell you. You pray and you trust in the Most High Yah, and He will make a way for you to some way avoid giving in to those idols. He'll find a way to separate you from that, but you just got to really trust in the Most High. And that's all I can tell you, brothers and sisters. You really got to trust in the Most High. You got to believe with all your heart that He's going to provide a way. If the Most High can split the Red Sea with the breath of His nostrils, do you not think that He can make a way for you to not have to participate in the worship of these pagan holidays, these pagan idols? The Most High will make a way, brothers and sisters. I guaranteed you. I'm a living testimony to that. All right, let's go back to verse 4. I'm going to read verse 4 all the way through verse 6. And the king worshipped it and went daily to adore it. But Daniel worshipped his own Elohim. And the king said unto him, Why do you not worship Baal? Verse 5. He answered and said, Daniel, he's talking about, because I may not worship idols made with hands, but the living Elohim who has created the heavens and the earth, and has sovereignty over all flesh. Verse 6. Then said the king unto him, Do you not think that Baal is a living Elohim? Do you not see how much he eats and drinks every day? So now we see there's some trickery going on here, because ain't no images made with hands are going to be consuming anything. The only thing that is going to consume is dust. That's it. But Daniel is standing firm. But this is going to get exciting, because I want you to see what's going to happen next. Because Daniel is going to challenge the king. Because the king says, Is not Baal a living Elohim? Do you not see how much he eats and consumes? And I'm gonna show you how they're doing the same thing today, brothers and sisters. You're gonna be amazed when you see it in this light. All right, let's go on to verse 7. Then Daniel smiled and said, O king, be not deceived, for this is but clay within and brass without. And Daniel's telling them, hey, this thing ain't nothing. These are the elements of the earth that the Most High created. And you're taking the elements of the earth and making this stupid demonic image and calling it a living Elohim. And then it goes on to say, and did never eat or drink. So let me read that again. Then Daniel smiled and said, O king, be not deceived, for this is but clay within and brass without, and did never eat or drink anything. Verse 8. So the king was wroth and called for his priest and said unto them, If ye tell me not who this is that devours these expenses, ye shall die. But if ye can certify me that Baal devours them, then Daniel shall die. For he has spoken blasphemy against Baal. And Daniel said unto the king, Let it be according to your word. Now, by this time, the priests got to be shaking in their boots, because they know good and well Baal is not consuming anything but dust. But watch what's happening next, though. Watch what happens, because Daniel's going to call their bluff. And watch what these deceiving priests do. The same thing that these wicked Sunday pastors do when they want to hide the truth, when they want to try to deceive their people. All right, so go ahead and jump down to verse 14 and let's see what's going on here. So when they were gone forth, the king set meats before Baal. Now Daniel had commanded his servants to bring ashes, and we're going to see what these ashes are for here in a minute. And those they strewed throughout all the temple in the presence of the king alone. Then went they out and shut the door and sealed it with the king's signet, and so departed. Now get this, verse 15. This is how sneaky these devils are. Now in the night came the priest with their women and children, as they were wont to do, and did eat and drink up all. So all that stuff that the king set up before his false image, Baal, the priest came during the night and came and consumed all of it with them and their children, and probably had many more people with them consuming that stuff to make the king believe that Baal was consuming these items. Now I'm going to stop right here and we're going to come back, but I want to fast forward to this present time because I want to show you the same things that went on back then are happening now, just more modernized, but it's the same thing. Baal worship, fake miracle healings. You know how you see on TV and you see these so-called devils that claim that they can heal with the touch of their hands and all that kind of stuff. All that is a lie, brothers and sisters. It is a lie. Did you know that these people and their people they have working with them, people like Benny Hinn, T.D. Jakes, all these old fake devils, they hire people in the audience and have them to play parts as crippled people so that they can get up and walk and make the crowd believe that these people were healed. And I'm telling you, these people got like tens of thousands of people in their congregation. And see, that's how people are deceived, because see, people measure success by numbers. See, that's the problem. People measure success by numbers. Just because you have 100,000 people in your congregation, just because Creflo Dollar has so many people, he's making so much money, just because T.D. Jakes has so much money, that the people think, and a lot of our people think, that he's being blessed by the Most High, when he is guided totally by Satan himself. And see, these so-called Sunday ministers, they are big fakes. They set up stuff. They hire people to do certain things to fool you all. And this is exactly what these priests were doing back in the days of Daniel. Nothing new under the sun. Same old stuff, but just a different day. That's all. This stuff is still going on, just modernized. And these people are making billions off of our deceived people. And I'm talking about our deceived black people. Just, it's astonishing, crazy. And sometimes it's hard for me to even wrap my head around it. And y'all remember the whole Jim Jones thing when he took all those people to there was a part in South America, Guyana. And do you know that the majority of the people who followed him were our people? 70% of the people who followed Jim Jones were black people. And he did a lot of those miracle healings to make people believe that he was supposed to be the Messiah. And the warning signs are always there. It's just that people are so deceived, they're so engulfed in the individuals themselves that they forget and they lose sight. And that's why, brothers and sisters, you cannot follow man. You cannot follow anyone. You must trust completely in the word and in the word of the Most High. And it is dangerous to follow after people. And see, this is what happened with Dimona 50 years ago with this guy named Ben Ami. You had people who followed him, and he brought these people to Damona, Israel, and it's crazy. But that's what happens when you follow man. Same way with the camps. When you follow man, you get into things, and you put aside the Most High, and you start worshiping man. They tell you to stop watching YouTube. They tell you to stay away from certain scriptures, and you can't even see the signs. You can't even see the red flags because you're so caught up in man worship. And the word of the Most High commands us to worship only Yah. You are not to be under the control of another man, brothers and sisters. That is demonic. Then that means you've broken the first commandment. Thou shalt not have no other gods before me. Now let's go back. Let's go back to Bel and the dragon. And let's jump down. Let's start with verse 15 again. And now in the night came the priests with their women and children, as they were wont to do, and did eat and drink up all. Lion devils. Talking about this image is consuming all the food. Let's look at verse 16. In the morning early the king arose, and Daniel with him. Verse 17. And the king said, Daniel, are the seals whole? And he said, Yea, O king, they be whole. Verse 18. And as soon as he had opened the door, the king looked upon the table and cried with a loud voice, Great are you, O Baal, and with you is no deceit at all. Then laughed Daniel, and he held the king that he should not go in, and said, Behold now the pavement, and mark well whose footsteps are these. Now remember we read earlier that Daniel had commanded the servants to bring ashes. Now check this out, verse 20. And the king said, I see footsteps of men, women, and children. And then the king was angry. See, Daniel was smart because the Most High had given him wisdom from beyond the king's knowledge. And see, when the Most High gives his people wisdom, he gives us wisdom, brothers and sisters. So Daniel knew what was up. He knew that these wicked priests and what they were doing, purposely putting food on the tables of this Baal god, and coming during the night, consuming and taking the food and consuming it to make it seem like this fake statue is consuming these items. But check this out, verse 21. And he took the priests with their women and children, who showed him the privy door, which is the private doors, where they came in and consumed such things as were upon the table. Let me read that again. And took the priests with their women and children, who showed him the privy doors, where they came in and consumed such things as were upon the table. So these priests thought they were slick, thought they can rope-a-dope the king. And you see, by Daniel putting those ashes down like that, and when they came in, those priests and their children came in during the night, they didn't see what they were stepping on. So when he brought the king in the morning to see, and he saw those footsteps, the king automatically knew what was up. He knew that he was duped. And the gig is up with these Sunday pastor preachers. And our people are the main ones deceiving Yah's people, taking all their tithe money. And it's funny because they'll be the first ones to say you don't got to keep the laws, but they still want you to pay tithes. And that tells you right there what they're all about. And they're using tactics. Remember I showed you earlier how they do these miracle healings and how they hire people. They have all they fake cohorts in place to deceive our people by the tens and thousands. But that's all right because the Most High got something for them. A lot of our people are waking up and they're starting to see past all the BS. And these pastors are losing a lot of money. And what I believe that's really going to hurt a lot, and it's going to reveal this whole thing, is the crash of the stock market. I'm telling you, the Most High has a way, brothers and sisters, of auto-correcting things. Now, let me repeat that again. The Most High has a way of auto-correcting things. Does it make sense? I'm like, wait a minute. The stock market crashing would affect a lot of things. And guess what? A lot of our people, at least hopefully, prayerfully, that most of them will come to their senses and realize, hey, something's going on. I need to get my act together. And all the time you've been telling them, brothers and sisters, about this faith, something's going to pop off like a light bulb. And it's going to click and they're going to finally get it. But it's going to take some events to take place for them to really see that. And all these pastors that are deceiving their people are going to be brought to the light, brought out for who they actually are. All right, let's continue. Let's go to verse 22. And it says, therefore the king slew them, and get this, Zion, and delivered Baal into Daniel's power, who destroyed him and his temple. So Daniel destroyed Baal and his temple before Elohim. This is why I love this so much, because if you stand firm with the Most High, brothers and sisters, he will stand firm with you. The Most High is fighting for his people in this hour. And those of us who are seeking after the righteousness of the Most High and keeping his laws and hate wickedness, see, the Most High commands us to burn these idols. In Deuteronomy 7:25, you have every right to burn every idol. So if you're coming into this faith and you knew you got like a Christmas tree in your house or something like that, and you can't burn it in your backyard, take that thing to a burn site, to a campsite or something, and burn the hell out of those idols. Burn the hell out of them. Burn them all up. Because they are a blasphemy before the Most High. And you see how the Most High delivered Baal into Daniel's hand, and Daniel destroyed Baal and his temple. I want to show you something, Zion. So if you go to Google, just go to Google and type in Baal, and you're going to see what comes up. I got something here. I'm going to show you something. So I got Baal. I typed in Baal, and you see all the images that with Baal and what they worshiped. And, you know, it still exists today. It has not changed. People worship these images and their idols. And y'all know what that statue of Baphomet, check it out, Baphomet. See, that's what the camp leaders worship. A lot of y'all don't know that, but a lot of them are Freemasons. And they worship Baphomet. Baphomet is their god. Baphomet is the current day Baal. And y'all need to really be paying attention to this kind of stuff, brothers and sisters, because this is what these people worship. Remember, the Bible says the world is given into the hands of the wicked. That's why when you see all these black celebrities, they have sold their souls to the devil. They have given over to graven images. And this is something our forefathers had a problem with. I want you to see the seriousness of this. And this is why we kept going into slavery. But I think we're starting to get it now, brothers and sisters, because the Bible did say that affliction shall not rise the second time. And we have learned and we have caught a lot of hell from the sins of our forefathers. See, that's why it's not going to be another captivity. There's not going to be no more going back to worshiping idols. That's not going to happen again. That's it. We've learned from the mistakes of our forefathers. And it's sad that it took 1,000 years to learn that. Now let's move on. Let's make sure I didn't read the other verse here. Okay, so let's go with verse 23. And in that same place there was a great dragon, which they of Baal worshipped. Verse 24. And the king said unto Daniel, will you also say that this is of brass? Lo, he lives, he eats and drinks. You cannot say that he is no living Elohim. Therefore worship him. Then said Daniel unto the king, I will worship Yahuwah Elohai, for he is the living Elohim. And see, there it is again. Daniel standing firm, letting the king know that I ain't worshiping no image made with hands of brass or whatever you built this trash from. I'm standing firm in the Most High Yah. Then Daniel continues, and then he says, But give me leave, O king, and I shall slay this dragon without sword or staff. The king said, I give you leave. Watch this. Verse 27. Then Daniel took pitch and fat and hair, and did seethe them together, and made lumps thereof. This he put in the dragon's mouth, and so the dragon burst in sunder. And Daniel said, Lo, these are the Elohim ye worship. Wow, so Daniel made the king look like a fool. And you know those stuff that he put in his mouth causes the stuff to inflate and everything, and it destroyed the dragon when he put those ingredients together. And that was something else. Right in front of the king, verse 28. When they of Babel heard that, they took great indignation and conspired against the king, saying, The king is become Yehudi, and he has destroyed Baal. He has slain the dragon and put the priests to death. Did y'all hear that? It says they took great indignation and conspired against the king, saying the king is become a Yehudi. Wow. And you know, we know that's Judah. Yehudi. So the point I want to make, and I know somebody probably needed to hear this, and I don't know why the Most High really put this on my heart this morning to say this, but our people have always had an issue with idol worship. You know, our people love to spend so much time in escapism. You know, and it's funny, our people can tell you more about the Atlantic Housewives and all these other stuff than be concerned in who we are as a people. Because our people still want to worship idols. They still want to worship Baal. They still want to worship the dragon. Now, what must we do on our part to help our people see that these things are wicked? Well, that's simple. We just have to live the light that the Most High has put in us. We have to set the example. So a lot of you brothers and sisters who are pressured, you have children, and you once celebrated Christmas with your in-laws, your parents, or whatever. Well, how come you don't bring my grandchildren over for Christmas dinner? How come you don't bring my grandchildren over for Thanksgiving? And you're finding yourself have to explain to them why you no longer do these things. And I know that can get tough sometimes too. And you constantly feel like you're having to explain the same things over and over and over. Well, I'm going to tell you something, saints. Do not be weary. You keep on standing your ground. You keep on being strong for the Most High. And you watch. You watch. It's coming. I'm telling you. Things are happening so rapid. Things are happening so fast. They can't even fit this stuff in the news. And you know the drum beats of the stock market crashing is all over the place now. They've already started laying off hundreds, thousands, I believe, from Ford. They've been laying off like 40,000 from Verizon nationwide. So the laying off process has already started. So think about it. What's going to happen after people start getting laid off and everything? They can't work. They can't find jobs. What do you think they're going to turn to? A lot of them are going to turn to crime. They're going to start doing stuff because you got to feed your family. The pressure is going to come on. And you know these heathens, they cannot take pressures. You know, we've been at the bottom for a long time. So, hey, ain't no big pressure for us. Well, you know, we used to going from job to job and being without a job for a while. So we used to it. But they're not used to that. And you're going to see suicide increase at a high rate. So, brothers and sisters, look, we are seeing the signs. We see it. You cannot deny it. And I'm telling you, it's well worth it, brothers and sisters. I know a lot of you get weary and you get tired. You're tired. You're sick of being tired. Tired of being tired. And just hang in there, you know, and we have to be strong for one another. And we have to continue to encourage one another. And for those of you who are coming in, and this is a good time. You got idols in your house, whatever they may be. Take that stuff and burn it. Burn it. So all I know is somebody needed to hear this message. I don't know who, but somebody needed to hear it. And the Most High put this on my heart. So, brothers and sisters, we all have a part to play in this walk. And each one of you are soaking up knowledge like a sponge. And, you're witnessing to your family members, you're witnessing to your friends, your co-workers. You all are putting in this work, brothers and sisters. And that's what's making this thing go by so fast. That's what's waking our people up so fast. Well, we know the Spirit of the Most High is awakening our people, but the Most High is using us to wake up our people. So keep doing what you're doing, Zion. Don't stop. Yeah, it's going to get hard. It's going to get tough, but don't stop what you're doing. And we can't get out of here without reading Revelation 14:12. Y'all know that, right? All right, so let's get there. Here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of Elohim and have the faith of Hamashiach. And y'all better believe that. So keep fighting that good fight, saints. Don't stop fighting that fight. And I look forward to, if y'all's willing, seeing you really soon. And I'm just excited. Going to keep blowing this trumpet until we can't blow no more. So with that being said, saints, shalom and stay strong.